They didn't get a lot of sleep, but they got back into training today, which is great. And then Aaron Herrera came back a day earlier. It's great to have those guys back in the building, and obviously Jeremy Garay is still on loan, even though he was with El Salvador.
Any issues with them? I know Maddie came out early of one game.
Yeah, no, all of them actually were fit today to train and will be available for the weekend. Okay. Yeah.
Then what preparations for Montreal? Team that's off to a good start, has some new quality players.
Yeah.
Your early thoughts on that?
Yeah, I think there's a lot to say about Montreal. You could talk about a number of different subjects that I think are really impressive. One, I talk a lot about trying to create an identity here, and you can see very clearly that they have a strong identity, clear way of playing. So I have a lot of respect for that because that's not easy to do, and I think their entire coaching staff has done a good job of making sure they all understand their roles and responsibilities. I think another subject matter is it's just impressive how they've gone about doing it on the road too. They have to play the first 5 matches away, which is not uncommon for them every year, but that's still not easy. And they've been able to go and get results. So we're going to have to be very well prepared in order to be able to get a good result against them. And, that's really what our focus has been, is just trying to prepare in the right way to combat some of their tactics.
Do you take a little different approach now that you'll have a full crew for the roster? Last week was a little bit different. You had to adjust, given your personnel and your bench depth.
Yeah. Positionally, I think you'll see a little bit more of what you saw in the first 4 weeks, that Christian Dahomey and Jared Stroud were playing out of position, but they were filling a role. In terms of our behavior, I think you're going to see the exact same thing that you saw that we just displayed against St. Louis. Even though that was from a lower line and a lower position, it still was very much in our identity. And I think that what we discovered in that is that we can be really dangerous out of that position. So that may be something that we look at.
Thoughts on the referees settling their issues and getting back to work?
Yeah, I will say something that I said, I think, early in this time period of being asked about the referees. I'm glad that there's a solution that's been put in place so that those that do their job and take their job seriously as referees can go and do that and be compensated in the way that they felt like was fair. So that's great to have them back. Yeah.
What's the situation with injuries, absences?
Yeah, so Garrison Tubbs is still going to be a couple weeks. He's still coming back off of hamstring. Steve Birnbaum is still, I mentioned this last week, the timeline's still a little bit unclear, but again, making more progress this week that I think we're all encouraged by. Tyler Miller actually has been able to start to integrate himself into the goalkeeper training, still probably a few weeks away from being able to compete fully. And then Russell Knaus he's one right now that the ankle actually is at full strength, which that's a positive. But there's just a health condition that's something that we're monitoring right now and evaluating that's going to keep him out and probably keep him out for a little bit of time.
So indefinite?
It's indefinite, and I don't have a ton of information probably to share right now, but it's non-injury related. It's just a health condition right now that we're monitoring.
Okay, good.
Perfect. And then we'll take some from Zoom. Sam?
Thanks, Brian. Thanks, Troy. We will go to Bruce Murray first. Go ahead, Bruce.
Hey, Troy. Bruce Murray, DC United Radio. How are you?
Hey, how you doing?
I'm doing great. Congratulations on the job. This will be our first radio game, but I'm personally blown away at these results you're getting on the road. These ties at Cincy and Portland and St. Louis, those are hard points to get. United finished out of the playoffs by a couple of points. What's the message, and what does that say about your players?
Yeah, you're exactly right. These are really difficult places to go and get any kind of result. But I would say in 2 out of those 3, we felt like we should have come away with 3 points, and that. I think that the mentality that you see from the group is one in which relates to the identity and values that I continue to speak about. They're displaying that by the effort that they put in to go and go into hostile environments like Portland and Cincinnati and St. Louis and be able to compete at a high level. But also part of that mentality and the identity that we're talking about is we're not satisfied by any means with being 2-1 up at St. Louis and then drawing 2-2. We want to go away with 3 points there. Portland, we felt like we could go away with 3 points, and That's part of, again, the type of culture and environment we want to have, is to say, upon reflection, there's more in it for us, and we have to continue to raise the standard. I am proud of what we've achieved at those places. I mean, look, St. Louis is the Western Conference champions last year. Cincinnati is the Eastern Conference champions and Supporter Shield winners. Guess what? In 2 weeks' time, after Montreal, we go to Columbus, who won the MLS Cup. That's not an easy way to start the year. So I think we've done well to put points on the table, but we want to put more points on the table.
Thanks, Troy.
Thanks. Next, we'll go to Ryan Kiefer. Go ahead, Ryan.
Hi, Troy. I know that Mo Chiazzi's status has kind of been here and there, and with him playing last week, I think it was the first time in about like 10 or 11 months. I wanted to get your thoughts on how he did. Was it really kind of more of a necessity thing, or is he going to be more available as the weeks go?
Yeah, look, I was I mentioned this in the post match to both Mo directly and to the team. I think Mo has continued to handle himself in a really professional manner through the first couple of months of the season, and he's a top pro. He really is. I mean, he comes in every day and he competes, and I've just tried to be transparent with him, as I am with all players, about where they are in the roster, and he's found himself not in the game day roster up until last week with some of the injuries and international call-ups that we had. And then his number got called, and he had to be prepared whenever that moment came, and again, he did that. Would have been easy to check out, and that's not how Mo conducts himself. So, you know, the decisions for this week, that's something that I'll evaluate in terms of where we go. But I think he deserves a lot of credit for the type of mentality that he's displayed individually.